Okay, go ahead. Tell me what you're cooking. Okay.
I'm working on some curry chicken. There's some rice here in the bag cooking. Ooh, and I just put an apple charlotte in the bake kettle.
Wow.
So, fairly typical meal.
So they cooked this way in the 1850s, 1830s?
If you're in a battlefield area, yes. By 1850s, most households would have had cook stoves because New England is pretty well deforested by this point, so wood stoves.
Oh, wood stoves.
Are going to be much more practical.
Right.
This would be more Civil War era at this point, or prior to.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do too much cooking outside, because as you can see, you can't really deal with the smoke.
Right. So what would Julia Child think of this method of cooking? Julia Child. What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
The recipe is good hearty ingredients.
Good hearty ingredients.
With some chicken and an onion. And I've got a curry powder that I could either have made myself or bought at the store. So, and butter.
Butter. Lots.
And butter.
Julia Child used a lot of butter.
Oh, yeah.
She just a ton of butter in there.
So, and Lydia Maria Child was a advice writer from the 1830s onward.
Yes.
Her books were reproduced for a long stretch of time.
Yes.
She was an abolitionist. She did all kinds of stuff. So she was a very prolific writer.
Yes.
Her writing basically kept her and her husband solvent.
Really?
He had all kinds of nifty ideas that never went to fruition.
So they sell The Frugal Housewife at the Emily Dickinson house in Amherst. And I think Emily Dickinson used that book for cooking.
A lot of her recipes were from
The Frugal.
The Frugal Housewife. It was a very common cookbook.
Yeah.
There were maybe a dozen, and they're mostly female-published cookbooks. You might have the American Frugal Housewife. That would be about Emily Dickinson's time frame. You wouldn't necessarily have beaten. You might have some beaten copies from England coming here, but a lot of there aren't copyright laws. So the recipes were just sort of lifted out of other cookbooks.
Right. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So, but this is very common.
Yeah. So, do you cook cakes too? Do you make cakes?
Well, my apple charlotte is pretty much a pie.
Pie.
It's sliced bread that's buttered with the bread put on the outside of the kettle.
Okay.
The pot.
Okay.
And apples with seasoning, so sugar and cinnamon inside, and then bread on top. But you could make a cake in a big kettle.
So in Emily Dickinson's recipe for black cake, she uses 19 eggs. For some
That's going to be a lot of the recipes are considering the fact that you're baking once a week probably.
Yeah, once a week.
With a bake oven, you've got a fairly large bake oven. You're going to use a lot of wood to heat that. So you're going to make a lot of stuff. You're going to make your bread and cakes and pies for the week. Kind of like when you go grocery shopping.
Right.
And the 19 eggs are going to be probably maybe more than one cake. It's probably going to be several cakes of a good size.
It was called black cake because she used a lot of molasses, and that made it look black. That made it look a little.
I want to say it's probably in Mrs. Child's cookbook.
It's in Mrs. Child's cookbook. It's interesting. Her name is Child and Julia Child.
No relation.
No relation.
No.
No relation.
No relation.
Well, thank you for telling me about this. It's really